Does lifting really matter for jiu-jitsu? Is it really important to be strong? Can I get really good at jiu-jitsu just by learning technique and taking a bunch of steroids? These are the things I'll talk about in this video. I'm gonna give you 4 reasons why I think you should be lifting if you also train jiu-jitsu. What's up, guys? So today's video comes as a question from Nathan Sherritt 13 on Instagram. He says, what do you do to make sure your knees are healthy enough to keep training? So I'm gonna go on a bit of a ramble here because yeah, that's what I do. But keeping your knees healthy, here's what I do, and here's what I would suggest, guys. The number one thing, and as you guys saw with the thumbnail of this video, is lifting, right? The thumbnail of the video is, does lifting matter? It matters so much. So Nathan, I'm gonna answer your question in a much broader, I'm gonna answer your question with a much broader focus, okay? So not just your knees, but in general, your body. If you want your body to be healthier when you're doing jiu-jitsu, especially if you're natural, and if you're older and you're on TRT and stuff, yeah, this applies to you too, but especially, let's say you're a younger person and you're a natural athlete, and you're someone who wants to compete, or even if you don't want to compete, you just want to train a lot, you need to lift, okay? I'm gonna give you guys a couple benefits of lifting for jiu-jitsu. Number one is injury prevention and recovery. Now guys, everyone thinks about lifting as just bodybuilding or powerlifting or CrossFit, but that's not completely true at all. There's also physio or PT, physical therapy, which are also in their own ways forms of strength and conditioning training, which I think every athlete should be doing some level of PT. I do PT. My PT is the jiu-jitsu therapist, Eugene, who does the jiu-jitsu podcast with my main coach, Chewy. But I want to give you guys 4 big reasons why I think you should be lifting if you train jiu-jitsu. And like I said, number 1 is injury prevention and recovery. I remember I was having a lot of back issues, especially last year, because I kind of got lazy and wasn't really lifting. The main reason was because there was just an imbalance, right? Jiu-jitsu makes you do this, right? Wrestling makes you do this. You're balled up, right? Your back basically gets super tight and super overcompensated, and you start to get here, right? So when you start lifting, one of the goals is to like get a stronger chest, get a stronger core. So now you're opened up, right? So this is just one great example because this is a issue I was having. But when you lift, guys, it's gonna strengthen the muscles that are kind of being overcompensated or underused when you train jiu-jitsu or wrestling, because again, lots of jiu-jitsu and wrestling is us being, I believe this is I'll just say rounded, right? When they have you rounded often, there's lots of pressure on you while you're playing guard or you're shooting shots, etc., etc. So injury prevention, big time. Lifting helps. Same with knees, guys. It's like I always make the joke that my knees hurt, but they really don't. Not very often anymore. But because I think it's because I'm getting like pretty much bulletproof knees just from traditional strength training, traditional bodybuilding-esque movements. I'm just strengthening the ligaments around my knees and my legs, whether it's through traditional lifting, plyos, whatever, sprints on the assault bike. I'm strengthening those muscles so that they're used to like high impact movements like shots, okay? When I wasn't lifting as much, like I said last year, my knees hurt so much more. But as soon as I started working with like Eli Coffey and Eugene, my knees got a lot better. They got a lot better, a lot faster, and I realized it was my legs, my hamstrings, everything was so weak that my knees were hurting as a reason. So this is a great, in my opinion, the number 1 reason why I think you should be lifting is do less jiu-jitsu, add in lifting. Like if you're doing, let's say 5 jiu-jitsu sessions a week, maybe do 3 jiu-jitsu sessions and 2 lifting sessions if that's all you have time for. If you can do both, that's ideal, right? The next thing is strength and technique is much better than just pure technique. Look at the Gordon Ryans, look at the Nicky Rods, look at the Felipe Penas, look at the Craig Jones. They have amazing technique, immaculate technique. But when those guys take their shirts off, they're jacked. Now, I'm not saying they're natural. That is not the point of this. I don't know who's natural. I don't know who's not. I don't care. The point is, if you strengthen condition, which those guys do, you are going to be stronger. Meaning, when you get into positions where a little bit of strength is required, it's going to be very helpful. Like when you're getting into a double leg and you need to power through it a little bit, it's gonna help. When you get a rear naked choke on against a professional athlete who's gonna fight to the death to not get choked, right? It's gonna help to have that extra squeeze when someone's mounting you and you need to get out, but your kipping escape isn't working like just off the pure technique, you're gonna need a frame on the hips. You're gonna need to kip. So being stronger, and I just gave you a couple examples, being stronger helps with your jiu-jitsu, right? Just like size matters in jiu-jitsu, right? There's this dumb argument that size does not matter. Now, I've been beaten by guys much smaller than me. You guys already know this. If you've kept up with me, you've seen me lose to guys a lot smaller than me. That was a skill issue, not a strength issue, right? If I had equal skills to my opponents on top of having the strength advantage that I often had, I wouldn't have lost. And you can see this happen. Like Gordon Ryan did not lose to Lachlan Giles, right? You guys remember that run Lachlan Giles went on in ADCC 2019 where he was just submitting everyone. He was just better than guys. He was doing backside 50-50 from K-guard, and he was just heel hooking everyone. Then he ran into Gordon Ryan, who was amazing at leg locks, also amazing at guard passing, amazing at guard, much better than the guys that Lachlan submitted leading up to the semifinals of the ADCC Absolute. Well, and Gordon was also about 70 pounds bigger and way stronger. Lifting and strength matters, right? So it's like, you should, in my opinion, you ignore me. Ignore what I'm saying if you want. I don't care. Some people do not lift. I think that it's very crucial that you have the balance of lifting and technique, because no matter what, no matter how good you are, if you run into Big Dan, if you run into Gordon Ryan, those guys are specimens of human beings. They're super powerful, and the strength makes a difference, right? So if you want to compete, if you don't want to compete, whatever, again, ignore me. But if you want to compete, having good strength and good technique is extremely important. On my next point is longevity, right? This kind of fills in with injury prevention and recovery. Once again, like, our bodies deteriorate doing jiu-jitsu, especially our little vertebrae if you do a lot more guard or wrestling. So I guess pretty much any of the jiu-jitsu, right? The sensitive jiu-jitsu. And when you lift, again, you're teaching your body how to move. You're building resistant muscles and durable athletic muscles, right? And if you want to do this for a long time, you need to try to be as durable as you can with your body. The last thing, guys, is this one's just something for me, and you guys can totally ignore me. Outside of jiu-jitsu, physique and mental health. Okay, so no one, if you talk to someone and they say they don't care what they look like, they're a freaking liar, okay? I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder. Again, we're not bodybuilders, but it's nice to, be in shape, feel good, feel confident, I think that those things realistically help people feel better, whether you're a man or you're a woman. I think it's just nice. It's good to feel good about yourself, and lifting really does. It really, I feel like, brings the best out of people. People I talk to who lift, and even if they don't do jiu-jitsu, there are a lot of times, unless they're the crazy steroid abusing bodybuilders, a lot of times those people are some of the happiest people ever, and they're very simple. They're like, I just want to lift, I want to feel good, I want to look good. Lifting can be very therapeutic for people. It's very therapeutic for me. I'm actually about to go do a lift after this video. That's the clock here in Montreal. But I think this fourth and final point, I think, does not apply to everyone, for sure, whatever. But I think if you do jiu-jitsu, I think lifting can be a great way to push yourself without just the extra training sessions in jiu-jitsu. And even if you don't do jiu-jitsu, I think it's great for your mental health to lift. But again, you can totally disagree with me. That's fine. Sorry for a bit of a ramble. I thought that these were some good, fun points, and it's a conversation that I think needed to be had. Here are 4 reasons why I think you should lift in jiu-jitsu: injury prevention and recovery, strength and technique over just technique, longevity in the sport, and physique and mental health. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to support the channel, I do have 2 things that I think you could do. Number 1, you can start your 7-day free trial of my Patreon. Everyone has a Patreon, I know, but this one is mine, So the difference between Patreon and instructionals, which I'll talk about in a second, is that you'll get weekly access to classes and seminar footage that's never before seen. It's not going to be rolling videos or anything like that, although I may do that in the future. Instead, it's going to be full-length classes, right? So it's going to be structured classes where it's like you're doing part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of whatever my students are doing in seminars or at my classes here in Montreal. Once again, you can start your 7-day free trial by either clicking the link that popped up somewhere above, or check out the link in the description below. You can also get my full-length instructionals, which include, duck unders, takedowns for older grapplers, solo drills, single legs, takedowns for jiu-jitsu, and more by clicking the link above. Again, I don't know if it's up here, or checking out the links in the description below if you prefer more individualized and very focused technique videos. So there's benefits of doing the instructionals and benefits of doing the Patreon. It really is just up to you, or you can do both. Once again, the link to both are down in the description below. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.